Today we are at one of the greatest car shows in the nation, the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance. And let's see what we got here, because this is one of the greatest car shows in the world, I should say. It's like a mini version of Pebble Beach, and nothing compared to what we saw at the Javits Center. We'll see a whole lot more here. Let's check it out. Alright, so even just walking in, I saw plenty of Ferraris, Lambos, and I even saw an XJ220 C2 Corvette. Right here, for the car show, we have a brand new Mclaren 720S. I love these things. 720S Spider, that is. Looking great. Like a proper supercar. You have the McLaren Artura, which is a significant spot. I do like this car. This looks good. Good looking car. And you might remember this car from a car we saw at Miller Motor Cars. This same McLaren P1 is here at the Greenwich Concours. Now the McLaren P1, hybrid hypercar with like 900 horsepower, V8, and price is about 1.7 million. New to car costs 1.1 million before taxes. And since they were released a decade ago, they've risen in value and have become a collector's item because of their rarity. Just look at this car. This is like a dream car, and it looks amazing, the P1. You can already hear all these sounds because of the cars, like an E30 M3 right there. If we just videotape here, we'll probably catch a few glimpses of some exotics. Lamborghini Miura in green. I love the color. Sick SUV. Wow. This SUV is crazy. Not only do we have a Urus, check out this lineup of two cars. We have a Lamborghini Miura S lined right next up to the Huracan STO. Old or new? I personally think that the Miura is a much better car because this is legendary. And this is when Enzo Ferrari got into a fight with Ferruccio Lamborghini, because Lamborghini was originally a tractor company. The businessman Ferruccio Lamborghini himself owned a tractor company called Lamborghini, but he drove Ferraris, and he said to Enzo Ferrari that he can make a better car. And then here he came out with the Miura. V12, legendary piece of art here, one of the most beautiful cars ever to exist. So the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance is sponsored by Haggerty. So that's just a fun fact about this car show. Look at this, Hudson Hornet. That's a classic family car, old time, like this is from the 50s. Now it lives today as a classic American car. So let's check out this. This Lucid. Never seen one of these in person. Lucid Air it's called. This sedan is extremely fast, 4 doors, like extremely fast. Like if you get the limited model, it would set you back 175,000 about, and it has like 1,000 horsepower, crazy, and it's a competitor with the Tesla Model S Plaid. So another EV car company, Lucid. Wow. Not only do we have a Lucid, we have a lot more than just that. Here we have an F-Type followed by a Defender from Jaguar Land Rover. Okay, so be ready to feel like you're James Bond, because we have an Aston Martin Db4 Gt. Extremely rare car, and now these things are worth millions of dollars. Like literally worth millions for a Db4 GT. Just look, that's a crazy spot. Wow, it's a beautiful car too. Look at this, we have a DB5, the iconic James Bond car. Wow, DB6. All right, another DB4. All right, and is this the last one? DB4. All right. Wow. crazy lineup of the Aston Martin DBs, especially the classic ones like the Db4s and Db5s. So after looking at all the classic cars, like the line of the classic Aston Martin DB series, and some other classics like the Miura, we certainly do have a lot more classic cars. Here we have the supercars and hypercars. Here's a nice racer. It's a Glickenhaus hypercar. That looks insane. I think they have like something like 1,400 horsepower. I don't know too much about them. Yeah. James Glickenhaus, legendary. So, yeah. Here we have the Ford GT, new Ford GT. This, I would consider a hypercar more than a supercar because of its price and looks. V6 you get in this, and this would set you back over $1 million, 1.5 million. And now we have one of the most insane hypercars that you'll find, a McLaren Speedtail. Now, look how long this car is. It's like a hyper GT car. That is insane. Costs about $3.5, $4 million. Wow. And here we have the Aventador Svj. I love the Svj. They're going up in value like crazy now. Some are asking like close to $900,000, $1 million. Crazy for that car. Right here we have this blue F12 TDF. I love the TDF. The 6.3 liter V12 it is. It screams and sounds like a symphony. Ridiculous car. Here we got a Pagani Huayra Roadster, Porsche Carrera GT. Oh, look at this, Bugatti Veyron. The line does get better. We have an Aston Martin Valkyrie over here. That is so insane. One of the most beautiful hypercars. Let's take a look at the Veyron. So yeah, this is over 1,000 horsepower, 8-liter quad turbocharged W16 engine, 16 cylinder, crazy. This was like the fastest production car about when it released in like 2005. This is a 2010 Veyron Grand Sport. Wow. This is nice. Alright, I didn't realize how far this line of Aston Martins goes. And it goes forever. Another DB4. Alright, DB4 Gt. Take a look at the Valkyrie. Look, Aston Martin and Miller Motor Cars. 2022 Valkyrie AMR Pro. This would set you back like over $3.5, close to $4 million. Crazy hypercar. Looks insane. Wow. It's not easy to film videos when there's such a crowd. Let's come and check out the American muscle cars like the Challenger RT 1970. Let's come over here. We have a Cuda. Oh, yeah. Shelby GT350 Classic. That is beautiful. Wow. Alright, we don't only have that. We have another Cuda. Alright. AMC over there. We have some hot rods lined up over there. Let's come over here and check this out. Wow. A 275 GTB. This is a great Ferrari, one of the best Ferraris ever made. V12, classic car. They tend to sell between $2 and $3 million. I think Ferrari looks extremely iconic in red. And with this car, this is what Ferrari really is. This is such a car. So I just realized we don't only have a 275 GTB. We have a line of Italian cars, especially Ferraris. Right there we have the Dino. And like more Ferraris. Another classic Ferrari over here. Designed by Pininfarina. Alright, Lamborghini 400 GT. That's classic, one of the earlier Lamborghinis. Another Ferrari. It's a Ferrari Daytona. So, yeah, 365 GT V4 Daytona, if you hear me right. The Daytona is an insane car with a V12 engine. This legendary Ferrari. Oh, here's a Fiat. Nah. Alright. Let's come to get more classic over here. As we get further, it gets more classic, like this Maserati 3500 GT. Come over, you could see a Cunningham C3. And once we get to the real vintage styled body cars, you are swarmed with a Ferrari 342 America. It's a beautiful car, vintage Ferrari from the early 50s. Here we have a 53 Ferrari 250mm, vintage body style race car, looks great. These are the type of Ferraris that are really valuable and way up in the multi-million-dollar price tag. So yeah, that's a lineup you don't get to see every day of two vintage Ferraris. So why do I stop realizing what there is as this line follows by more vintage Ferraris, like a 51 Ferrari 212 Export, followed by another 212. So let's come over here to more vintage bodied Ferraris, like a 1950 Ferrari. It's the 195S, this is called. Like, that's from 1950. So this is when Ferrari was just getting started with their brand. And if you come over here, legendary Ferrari 166mm. Wow. A racer here. Like, yeah, you don't get to see that every day. A Ferrari from the 50s. Alright, don't expect all the classic cars to end, because you have Aston Martins, Jaguars, like this Jaguar, not any Jaguar. We have a 55 Jaguar D-Type, legendary Le Mans racer. Only, like, very few of them were made. Nowadays, they're worth millions, like at least $7 million. Some of them even sell for more of that. Some estimates like 20 million for a D-Type. In fact, one sold for like over 20 million. So yeah, quite a fine automobile to see live in action in Greenwich. Look at this right here. I wonder if this is going to be restored or not. An original Shelby Cobra. Now this is worth a lot of money too. Probably if it was restored, like, I would estimate like millions, if not into 10 millions, because the first Cobra did sell for like over like 10-15 million, like making it one of the world's most expensive muscle cars ever sold. So, work of art over here. The Cobra's an icon in my mind. I love them, and I respect them as much as I could. Expect some old vintage luxury when we look at the pre-war American classics. Like, right here we have Packard. Like, these are one of the most luxurious cars around back in the pre-war days. And followed by here we have Stutz. Wow. And whoa. 1931 Cadillac V16. That means you have 16 cylinders, just like the Bugatti Veyron. Obviously, it's a lot different from a Veyron. Check that out. Extreme luxury. A Cadillac V16. Like, that's something you don't expect to see every day. A 16-cylinder engine Cadillac. Wow. Over here, what's this? A Locomobile 1923 Model 48. I don't even know what that is. LOL. Alright. Here's a car that I found out would be here, and it's such a legend to see in person. We have a 1904 Mercedes. So now, like, this is a very old car. Like, you're going back 118 years to 1904. This shows how old Mercedes-Benz is and how long they've been producing cars and luxury cars as well. Alright, what's this? 1913 white. Alright, I don't know too much about cars back from this era. It's another Packard. 1912 Packard, that is. So this car over here is from 1903, and it's a Stevens. I've never heard of most of these cars, so like I said, I don't know too much about cars like from like earlier than 1920, really. Let's take a look at this. We have a Stanley. I have heard of them, the Stanley Steamers. Again, I don't know too much about them, so yeah, that's the furthest we could go in the classic car direction. Back to 1903. Let's come more in, see if there's anything lurking around over there. I can see some expensive super yachts over here. Now, I don't know too much about yachts either. They're probably worth like 50, 100 million. I don't know. I don't even know. Like, so, yeah, that's just a fun fact of what you can find in the Greenwich Harbor and this wealthy neighborhood. So I was going to ignore these cars, but I just can't. And we have such luxury and fine automobiles like Bentley and Rolls Royce. Let's come over here to this green Ferrari Roma. That's nice. Beautiful Ferrari. I do see some inspiration from the grille and the body style from the classic Ferraris. So yeah, I do like this one a lot. It's got a V8. It's about $300,000. DBX over here. Stelvio Quattrofoglio. Love that car. And here's Levante. Just squeeze through the two Italian super SUVs and see what comes along over here. Alright, I don't know these brands either. There's another Cunningham. Oh, De Tomaso. That's nice. Alright. It's a De Tomaso Mangusta. I wonder if we can find any Panteras over here. I don't think I've ever seen a De Tomaso live in person. 1948 Packard, before they went out of business. Packard has been out of business for many decades now. Back in the older era of cars, they were the most luxurious cars around, followed by Rolls-Royce, Cadillac, and Duesenberg. And this is like the pre-war, when they were really luxurious. Oh, here we have a Triumph. A Triumph. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, the Triumph. They're a British sports car maker. They mainly like compete with like the Healey's, like Austin Healey's and stuff like that. We have another 54. It's a Fiat. Alright, so here we do have a pinnacle of some of the pre-war Italian luxuries. Now, it says European classics. Here we have the Isotta Francini, however you pronounce it, a 28. Francini. Wow, legendary car. This is worth hundreds of thousands, probably a couple 100,000 they're selling for. If not, maybe even more. I could be wrong. That's really luxurious. Wow. Beauty. So it's such a process just to get pictures of these cars and film the cars because of the crowd, obviously. Check out this. Alfa Romeo 6C, classic racer. And here's the Talbot Lago. I have heard of them. Alright, here we have some of the older Bentley racers. When Bentley was racing and won Le Mans in the pre-war era. What's this? 1924 Renault. Alright, surprisingly there's a Renault here. Was not expecting that. Yeah, Renault is just sold, I think, on the European side. Like, you never see them on the road in America. Similar to, like, brands like Peugeot Like, that's a French car brand. And let's come to a better R, like the Rolls-Royce Phantom 1926. This is when the Rolls-Royce Phantom was new and came to life. Like, look at that. Wow. I've never seen cars like this in person or on the road. One thing I never realized, even from looking at them in pictures, I never realized how large these cars really were. So that's something you might want to keep in mind if you ever come here and see these cars live. So yeah, the Rolls-Royce is nice. Check out this. When you have a Bugatti Type 57 Atlante, that is classic and worth probably well over $1 million. It's not the Type 57 SC Atlantic, which only like very few or one even exists. For the Atlantics, like only a few exist, and they're like worth 40 million. Ralph Lauren owns one. So yeah, very classic. Yo. Now that is luxury too, and it does combine with a pre-war supercar. Unfortunately, cars like this had to go out of production not long after due to the Great Depression. This is a legend in the automobile world. Wow. Here we have some post-war era German cars, like, of course, the Porsche 356, and, of course, the legendary BMW 3.0 CSL. Fun car to drive, great-looking car. It's even better looking is, of course, the Mercedes 300 SL Goldwing. Now, very classic car, starting like the SL series. Recently, they did have a 300 SLR, breaking the Ferrari 250 GTO record. That sold for $143 million, pretty much doubling the 250 GTO. Obviously, probably the 250 GTO is worth more than it when it sold for like between 50 and 80 million a few years ago, because it's so classic. And the 300 SL Goldwing has like the butterfly doors, and it instantly makes you look wealthy. So yeah, legendary car, and they're worth over $1 million, pretty much like 1.5 to 2 million to pick one of these up. And here we have Porsche 924. Oh, wow, love this one, the BMW 2002 Turbo. Another 356 over there. Alright, you ready for this? Look at this line of all the Cadillac Eldorados, pretty much luxury cars in the 40s and 50s. You have like, I don't know, you have almost a dozen of them, it seems like. Classic cars as well. These are the type of cars Elvis would like Eldorados, and whoa, that is a long one. I did not see that back. Yeah, Cadillacs do have long backs in the 50s, of course, like the Eldorado. Whoa, that's pretty much ultra luxury back in those days. I did not see it. Alright, so capturing a photo of the Cobra is, of course, a process, and it probably always is at car shows like this because it's such an icon. Here we have the 289 Cobra. Wow. Legendary car in the muscle car world. Now, what Carroll Shelby did is he took a little British sports car, the brand AC, and transformed it into an American muscle supercar or whatever, and put a huge 7-liter 427 V8 or options of the 289, and it is powered by Ford engines, so it's a Ford. And yeah, we're looking at over $1 million for a Cobra in good condition like this. And come along over to the world of automobiles. The Nash Healey we have, part of like the Austin Healey, like the whole Healey franchise. De Tomaso. And and a large, another racer from the older days. Look at this, Bizzarini. This is a car I wasn't really thinking of seeing. Now, it's mostly inspired by the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis. And yeah, Giotto Bizzarini is a legendary car designer. So, quite a car to see. It is a beautiful automobile. So, see what we can find. The Jensen Interceptor, great car. So, yeah, that's part of the Austin, the Healey franchise, I believe. Alright, so, yeah, I don't really know too many of these brands. Did I show you guys this Cunningham? I think I did. So another car I've never heard of, we just have a line of Alfa called. So yeah, they look good. We just missed out on the Astons firing up. They do sound good. We have more cars like over by the Defender section again and the Jaguar Land Rover area. Here we have some of the Lincolns, brand new Lincolns. Let's come over. Stuff, what's this? 1939 Graham. I don't even know what some of these cars are here. What maybe it's such an iconic show to come to. What's this? Glickenhaus. Whoa. Off-roader made by Glickenhaus. I thought they mainly made most race cars. Yeah, maybe James Glickenhaus is here. His cars are here, so yeah. Here we are seeing the Glickenhaus. And as we did see the hypercar version, saw the Glickenhaus earlier. Look at this, an LFA. Now, if you guys don't know, legendary JDM supercar, V10 that has in it, and they sound good. The car is musically tuned, so expect some sound from that. It just sounds so good, the car. And yeah, they didn't make too many of these, and they're now worth like a good $450,000. And it's surprising that one of the best sounding cars ever produced comes from a luxury car brand, Lexus. So this was quite a car show. I get why people love this car show, and it's one of the greatest car shows you can find in the world. And yeah, from everything from classics to muscle cars to vintages to basically multi-million-dollar vintage classics to super and hypercars, even to pre-war classics to cars I've never even heard of before. There was everything here, and it was just a great car show as I'm walking out. Thanks for tuning in, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.